Hey friends, today I want to dive into something deeply personal but also incredibly important: how I developed healthy habits that completely transformed my heart health. This journey wasn't some quick fix and it didn't happen overnight. It took time, small steps, and real commitment. But let me tell you, the changes I've seen in my body and my energy levels have been nothing short of life changing. Stick around until the end because I'll be revealing a love hormone trick that's truly amazing. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel so we can continue sharing health tips that help you thrive. For the longest time, I didn't pay much attention to my heart. It's not that I was deliberately unhealthy, I just wasn't thinking about the future. Like many people, I assumed heart disease was something older folks had to worry about or something that ran in families. I never really saw myself as someone at risk. But the truth is, heart health isn't something you wait to think about until you have a problem. It's something you build up and nurture little by little, day by day. Looking back, I can pinpoint moments that pushed me towards change. It wasn't one big event like a heart attack or a scary hospital visit. For me, it was more of a series of subtle clues. I remember being winded after climbing just a few flights of stairs, or how my energy would crash midday no matter how much coffee I had. I would constantly feel tired, and despite getting what I thought was enough sleep, my body just didn't feel right. I figured it was just stress or maybe a sign of getting older. But when I finally went to the doctor and got a few tests done, the results were eye opening. My cholesterol was creeping up and my blood pressure wasn't looking great either. That's when I knew I couldn't keep putting it off. It was time to take my heart health seriously. The first thing I needed to address was my diet. It wasn't terrible, but certainly it wasn't doing my heart any favors. I loved any snacks, chips, sugary treats, late night bowls of ice cream. I had no idea how much these foods were impacting my health, even if I wasn't feeling the effects immediately. My doctor explained to me how processed foods, especially those high in trans fats or added sugars, can wreak havoc on your arteries. Over time, they contribute to plaque buildup, which narrows the arteries and makes it harder for blood to flow through the heart. That was enough to make me rethink my choices. I knew I couldn't just overhaul my entire diet in one go, so I started small. The first step was cutting on the processed snacks. Instead of reaching for a bag of chips, I began grabbing a handful of nuts or fresh fruit. I also learned to check on labels. If an ingredient list was packed with chemicals or sugar, it didn't make it into my shopping cart. I swapped out refined carbs for whole grains like quinoa or brown rice and started incorporating more leafy greens into my meals. Things like kale, spinach, and broccoli became staples. They are rich in antioxidants and vitamins that help fight inflammation, which is a major contributor to heart disease. One of the biggest changes I made was focusing on healthy fats. For years, I had a misconception that fat was the enemy, but not all fats are created equal. I learned that foods like avocados, olive oil, and fatty fish like salmon are packed with omega 3 fatty acids, which are fantastic for heart health. They help lower bad cholesterol and reduce inflammation in the body. Instead of avoiding fats, I started embracing the right ones. And I noticed a shift, not just in my physical health, but also how I felt mentally. I had more energy, more focus, and I felt satisfied after meals instead of craving something sweet. It wasn't just about what I ate, though. The next hurdle was getting more movement in my day. Like a lot of people, I have a job that keeps me sitting for long periods, And by the time I get home, I'll be too drained to think about exercise. But I had to change that. One thing that my doctor pointed out was that regular physical activity doesn't just help you lose weight or build muscle, it's essential for heart function. When you exercise, your heart becomes stronger and more efficient at pumping blood. Plus, exercise helps keep your blood vessels flexible, which lowers the risk of high blood pressure. The key for me was starting with something I actually enjoyed. I wasn't about to jump into a hardcore gym routine. I began with walking, just 20 to 30 minutes a day around my neighborhood. At first, it felt like a chore, but I soon started to look forward to it. Walking gave me the time to clear my head, soak up some fresh air, and of course, get my heart rate up. Over time, I added more intensity. I began jogging and incorporating strength training into my routine a couple of times a week. Building muscle not only helps with overall fitness, but also boosts metabolism and supports heart health in a way cardio alone doesn't. What I didn't expect was how much exercise helped with managing stress. And this is crucial because chronic stress is a major risk factor for heart disease. When you're stressed, your body releases hormones like cortisol, which can raise blood pressure and contribute to inflammation. I used to think stress was something you just had to deal with, part of being busy or successful, but stress takes a real toll on your heart. Exercise became a natural way for me to unwind, release tension, and keep my stress levels in check. Speaking of stress, I also made time for mindfulness. I know it sounds like a bit new agey, but it works. I started practicing meditation and deep breathing exercises. Even just 5 minutes a day makes a difference. It helps me slow down, be present, and let go of the little things that would normally get my heart racing. Over time, I noticed I felt more grounded, less reactive, and more in control of my emotions. The benefits of mindfulness go way beyond mental well being. It can physically lower your heart rate and blood pressure, making a key component of heart health. Another big shift was my sleep. It's crazy how much sleep impacts your heart, and yet it's one of the most overlooked aspects of health. I used to burn the candle at both ends, thinking I could get by with only 5 to 6 hours of sleep. But poor sleep can elevate your blood pressure, increase stress, and mess up with your metabolism. I started prioritizing my sleep by creating a consistent bedtime routine. No screens an hour before bed, a cup of chamomile tea, and a good book. It wasn't long before I noticed the difference. My mood improved, my energy levels were consistent, and my workouts didn't feel like a struggle anymore. Good sleep helps your body recover, and that includes your heart. One aspect of heart health I hadn't really thought about until my doctor mentioned it was the role of social connections. It turns out feeling isolated or disconnected can negatively impact your heart health, increasing the risk of heart disease. Humans are wired for connection, and having a support system is vital. I started making more time for friends and family, even if it was just a quick phone call or catching up over coffee. It helped me feel more balanced and less alone in the journey to better health. Throughout all of this, I kept track of my progress with regular check ins at my doctor's office. I watched my cholesterol levels improve, my blood pressure normalize, and my energy levels increase. It wasn't just the numbers that changed, though, it was how I felt in my own skin. I didn't realize how much my lifestyle was draining me until I made these changes. And while it took time, the rewards were well worth it. One thing I learned is that building healthy habits isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. There were days when I skipped a workout or indulged in something I probably shouldn't have, but the key was getting back on track the next day. Over time, those small, consistent efforts added up, and now they've become second nature. So, if you're looking to transform your heart health, remember that it's all about those small, daily habits. It's all about eating the foods that nourish your body, moving in ways that feel good, managing stress, and staying connected with the people who lift you up. The journey might not always be easy, but I can promise you this: it's worth it. Did you know that hugging someone can actually benefit your heart health? Studies have shown that a good hug, yes, a simple hug, can help lower blood pressure and reduce stress by releasing oxytocin, the love hormone. So, next time you're feeling stressed, a hug might just be what your heart needs. And before we wrap things up, here's a curious little tip that I found helpful along the way. Did you know that dark chocolate, yes, chocolate, can actually be good for your heart? Dark chocolate, especially the kind that is at least 70% cocoa, it's packed with antioxidants and flavonoids that help improve blood flow, lower blood pressure, and reduce the risk of heart disease. So next time you're craving for something sweet, a square or two of dark chocolate might just be the perfect heart healthy treat. Let me know in the comments below if you have tried any of these habits and how they have worked for you. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who could use a little extra inspiration for their health journey. Thank you for sticking with me through this journey. I hope my story has inspired you by start making small changes that lead to a healthier, stronger heart. Because when it comes to heart health, every little bit counts.